So, hello everyone. This is Krishna from Women's Today's YouTube channel. So, I welcome all who are people watching this interview right now. So, today's our guest is Reena Chopra, ma'am. She is a child psychologist. So, I welcome you, Reena Chopra, ma'am, to this wonderful interview today. Hi, how are you, ma'am?
Thank you so much for sharing this platform with me. And I think you are doing an amazing job by just focusing on women entrepreneurs and how are they, making a difference in the current world. So blessings and more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much
Thank
for your warm blessings. And please introduce about yourself, ma'am. Because being a child psychologist, I have heard a lot about you. But the people who are watching this interview right now, they'll be like in a completely different mindset. So please introduce about yourself so that they'll be able to know a lot of things about you right now, ma'am.
All right. So I, Reena Chopra, I'm the founder of Saarholistic Wellness. And we also run an Instagram channel under Saarholistic Wellness. For me, the parenthood journey started in 2009. When I became the mother for the first time, I was working with corporate houses. My schedules were really busy. I was working 15 hours in a day. And then I had another life to take care of. That time I did not realize that what is the importance of present parenting. I did not realize that how much difference can we make by just being present with our children with no distraction, nothing. And I did not know that first 6 years of my child's brain development is so much important because 95% of the brain develops by the age of 6. So by the time I realized it's never too late. And apart from that, I was also carrying a mother guilt every day to work, realizing that I've given birth to this little life and I do not have time to invest, to nurture, to grow my little bundle of joy. So that guilt haunted me for a couple of years, and before I decided to jump into psychology and specifically for child psychology, because I wanted to learn parenting. And when I shared it with my family that I want to learn parenting, everybody literally started laughing at me. Although they all
Different
love me
kind of
very much.
Yeah, because that's totally a different kind of profession. So we do have engineers, we do have doctors, but this is kind of a profession which is newly emerging into the environment. So that's why I think that
Yes.
sparked a lot of attentions from your family, right, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm talking about 15 years back, 2009, when I talked about I want to learn parenting,
Then
and
even
everybody started.
then even
Yeah.
before the era of internet, because at that time people will be
Yes.
totally like out of mind. Okay, what is this kind of job?
Yes.
Is this even a job?
Yes.
So okay, tell me, come on, continue, ma'am. Thank you.
So when I made up my mind that I want to learn this skill, parenting as a skill, everybody not only was laughing, but I really had a hard time to find a mentor. Nobody teaches you parenting that time. Even today we see a lot of parenting coaches online. But authentic parenting coaches are very important. Coach who is a mother, number one, who is a parent himself or herself is very important. Number two, that person should be psychologically certified, because if you have become a mother, which is a blessing, but you do have to have an idea on the researches on the psychology to train other people on parenting. Otherwise you are just doing it for the sake of doing. Okay. So when I had this idea on my mind, everybody was laughing, I was not finding a mentor, and that created an environment for me to learn psychology myself. So I jumped into this profession and I started learning about it. I got certified into psychology, then I did advanced courses in child psychology, and then to my surprise, when I started talking about it with my friends and peers, that time it was offline. A lot of people started to wanting to know more about it, like how this works, how can you manage tantrums, how the difference of behavior you are able to capture now. Earlier it was because everybody was seeing that change in my child, in myself. Motherhood made me an angry person. I will not fake it. Motherhood is a beautiful journey, but most of the times it changes you in an angry person because you
See,
do not
yeah,
know how to how to.
I think being an
Yeah,
angry person in motherhood, it's like because of the change in the hormones. So we do have a
uh,
lot of pressure. So I think that's because it's a natural therapy, because not only in humans, in any kind of life in this earth. So once we attain motherhood, so we'll be having a lot of kind of attention towards our children, and also a lot of hormonal changes. So we'll be having a lot of things going on in our body. So it's kind of good thing actually. So it's not like a bad thing. Like,
yeah, rightly mentioned. It's, yeah, not only in our body but our in brain too.
yes, exactly.
Because we are psychologically also changing. Nobody tells you like how you have to be patient and what strategies you have to follow if your child is not listening to you. Why the child is not listening to you? Why is it happening? Why it is important to have a connection with your child? We were not talking these things before, you know. And when I got blessed with my second baby boy in 2018, I was more equipped, I was more aware. And that was the time I thought, if me being a psychologist, if me being a mother can face so many parenting challenges, think about people who do not have any awareness. So in 2024, after COVID, I decided to bring my profession online, and to my surprise, I think I opened page on February, and by June I already had 6,000 followers worldwide.
Great.
So that was a validation that it's not a state problem, it's not your home problem, it's a global issue.
So do you have any kind of offline things which people can come and directly visit you, or you're working? I mean, you're just concentrating your work only on online, na?
I am dedicatedly working on researches model every single day, and hence I keep my availability online because I understand the importance of time with mothers. Mothers do not have time. They will not take out special time to walk up to you to a point. Even if they want help, they will not walk up to you. And if you make them like a clinic or offline thing, it will take them years to understand that I have to go because my healing is important. It is important for my child. It's not for me. It's for my entire family.
So
Because if I am calm, then my family is calm. My child is calm. But if I am angry, frustrated, dysregulated, my husband and I will have issues. Me and my child will always have
so
angry.
it's like
I
a
will
chain
power
link.
play.
It's like a chain link. One person gets affected, so it's totally going on with the first from the family, and the other person we meet in the society. So on the other hand,
Yeah, because
yes, tell me now.
because mother is actually the sun of the family and everything
Revolves
evolves
around.
around her, you know. And if some, because why mother? Because in 90% of the cases, mothers are the primary caregivers also, you know. It's
So it's
not
like,
fathers are the primary caregivers. That's why God has gifted us with this blessing of bringing life to earth,
so
you know.
do you have any kind of things or signs which we can just see through, so that we can ourselves recognize our child is in anxiety mode? Because as an adult, we can just straightly look through the face and we can just judge a person that they're in an angry mode, they're in a kind of anxiety mode, they're in a kind of fun or jolly mode. So it's like okay with judging with the adults, but being a mother or being some woman or man in the society, and if they are having a child in front of them and they can't recognize what's happening, what's going through the mind of the child, and if they do want to know what are the signs that they can look through if the child is in anxiety mode or not, so please tell us what kind of things we can see, so that we can able to know our child is in a very anxiety and panic attack mode.
Yes. So a very good question. I would happy to address this. So generally we use this depression and anxiety words very casually nowadays. So number one, we have to understand where does this anxiety comes from to the children. Children are so innocent, fragile, and vulnerable. And where is this heavy? Have you ever heard about anxiety in your 90s when we were born, when we were growing up? Like anxiety in children. Have you ever heard about it?
It's kind of people who are more than 50, they will be able to
Yeah.
express this kind of
Like
situation.
anxiety means old people. For
Yeah.
us, anxiety, depression means grown up, old, struggling with life. But in children today, and you see there is a high rate of suicides in children because they are not able to handle their emotions and they do not express it to their own parents sometimes. So yes, so when a child is sad or when a child is anxious, there are two different terms. Sadness is temporary. It's a mood like any other mood. It's a mood. It's like happiness, like angry. So sadness is temporary. You will be sad, phase will pass by, and you'll be okay. But when you're anxious, then you have repeated symptoms like you have loss of appetite, you have dysregulated sleep, you are mostly frustrated and angry. And these are the top three signs I can talk about, like appetite, then sleep, and then staying angry and frustrated. And isolation is another thing. Then cutting you off from your friends, from your family, and sitting in the room. Maybe you're doing something, you do not do something, you're cutting you out from the social environment. So
So it's
these
a
are the
kind of
signs,
thing.
and it is
Yeah,
prevailing
that's a
for
kind
a
of
long time.
that's a kind of sign
Then
not
you're
only
seeing
in adults but also in children, because the symptoms which you told right now, like anxiety, whenever a child or adult girls, they will be putting them totally in isolation. They will not be speaking to anybody. They will be angry at all times. They will not be eating. They will not be having a proper appetite in them. And also at the same time, they will be like, exhibiting a lot of insomnia. Like they will not be sleeping during nights. So these are the things which we can find when a person is in a depressed mode, not only in adults. Like being a child psychologist and you telling that these symptoms do come to the child is kind of things which we needed to recognize in this modern society, because it's the call, because we have to answer the call. So as you
yeah.
told, that's a great thing, ma'am. Okay, keep on continuing, ma'am.
So the thing is, we children are miniatures of adult, like human beings. So everything that happens in adults does happen in children too, being it mental health issues or being it physical health issues. The symptoms and everything would be same, but it's just the frequency could be different. Their way of handling could be different. And if you're seeing this in your child, don't take it lightly. Do consult a psychologist, do consult a pediatric, and maybe they can refer you to some counselor or somebody or to a psychiatrist. But never ignore these signs. I know parents are really busy these days. Both parents are working, and children are getting raised in daycares or with caretakers. But as a mother, you always can, always can feel it if your child is suffering. And if you're continuously feeling it repeatedly, do address it. That's my humble request to all the mothers or parents who is watching this.
And also at the
Yeah.
same time, children do exhibit a lot of tantrums. Like if you're not going to buy them as something, like a toy, like the things which they needed to get right at the current moment. Like we as an adult, we grown up like during the 1990s, that kind of parenting, it's totally different. So our parents will be like, okay, if you want a thing, you should wait for month, you should wait for even years, or you should wait for eternity to in order to achieve it, in order to get in your hand. But the thing is that now in 2020s, like the children are totally in a different kind of mindset. If they want to have something in their hand right now, current moment, they have to have it, because they have been witnessing a lot of things right now, like instant deliveries, like through Amazon, like instant thing. Whatever happens in this life, it's like instant thing. So at these times, if they not have any kind of properties which they need to be right at the current moment in their hand, they'll be like in a totally different mode, and they'll be throwing tantrums a lot of time, like daddy get me that, daddy mommy I just need it. just get me that, or I'm not going to eat. So how do you just control all these kind of tantrums? So is it is it actually the thing which child behaviors, or is it the thing which needed to be focused on much, like we should ignore it, or we should take care of the tantrums of the children right now?
Very good question and very commonly asked question, how to handle tantrums. Look, children are developing. Up till 6 years, they are still developing. Their prefrontal cortex, which is there in the brain, is not fully developed, which is responsible for impulse control and emotional regulation. So, we need to understand that the child is still developing. So, but we want to manage the tantrums too. So, what should we do? As you mentioned, it's a time of instant gratification. I want food, 10 minutes, food here. I want this. One day, your toys are there at your doorstep, whatever. And third thing is evolve the parenting evolvement, the parents getting more and more busier for earning, wherein there is no end to this money race, and they want to give the best lifestyle and best everything to their children, are forgetting that nothing can replace your time and presence. So tantrums, man, coming back to managing tantrums, how? Number one, when I said no, it means no. I said, Aryan, you're not watching TV after 4 o'clock. So setting boundaries. And Aryan, आज आपको, today you are feeling you're setting boundaries on Monday. Aryan, you're not watching TV. On Tuesday, you're following the strategy. On Wednesday, Aryan is still throwing tantrum or has done good job, and you are very, he is showing too much love to you, and you break the rule. So, boundary setting is very important. Come what may. Once you have said this, that this is a clear boundary, don't break it. Come what may. Even if the child is giving you too much love and
We
pampering,
should be totally strict.
children are very smart.
We should be
Children are
totally
very
strict.
smart. First, they will throw tantrums. Tantrums will not work. They will start bribing you with love and affection and everything, and they will try everything possible to check your patience, to check on you, like are you able to break that boundary or no, not. But I trust me, if you are able to set that boundary in 7 days or 2 weeks, the child will never break that boundary. He will understand by himself that at 4, my TV time is over and I will not be watching it.
So yeah,
And number two, yeah.
basically you want the parents to be strict. So being strict will always
Not strict. I would use the term firm.
firm.
Strict means power playing.
Oh,
Firm is something, staying firm, come what may, stay firm to your decision. Either you do not take a decision, and if you have taken a decision, stick to it.
strict
It's not
firmity.
about strict, we do not talk about strict parenting at all. We talk about logical, mindful, and conscious parenting. Strict means playing a power. I will not give you. Come what? No. You are setting boundaries with reasons. At a 4 o'clock, will not watch TV because you have class to do, because you have homework to do, because you have food to eat. Okay. And if you are missing all this, then you can suffer because of your health, or you will miss on your classes or whatever. Tell him consequences. We need to treat children as mini adults, and they are very smart. Today children are very smart to understand everything from you. It is just that you're not making enough efforts. Okay. And why I'm so confident on talking about this, because I also have a 6 years old boy. I also have a teenager at home, and both are boys. And I have structured them in such a boundary system wherein we discuss, we mutually agree to some point, and then we make it a rule not to break it. Okay. Rules are not meant to be broken. Like the saying, sometimes you read rules are meant to be broken. No. Mutually agree to something and then don't break it. Number two, You and your husband are one team. You are not two people. Today, mother says not to give sugar and chocolate to your child after 7 p.m. And someday, your wife comes and or husband comes and brings in a big chocolate cake and serves it to the child. That's not happening.
Breaking the rules
If
is
both of you decided 7 p.m. after no chocolates and sugar, then no chocolate. If you have got the cake, please cut it on the next day or serve it on the obviously if there is no occasion. Occasionally, obviously if it's a birthday or a celebration, obviously you will do it. But I'm talking about the generic rule of the house that mama and papa are one team. ऐसा नहीं, it's not like that. If mama is not giving me money, then I'll go to Papa and Papa will give me. If Mama is not giving me mobile and screen time to watch, I'll go to Papa and he will give me. You are one team. You're not two teams. So number one, stay firm. Number two, act as a team. And number three, always make child aware of the consequences and talk to him at a contact level.
eye contact. Yes.
So what is happening? It's very important to understand what is happening nowadays. How are we talking to our children? If I'm doing, generally parents are also are addicted to phone. So I'm checking, Mama, can I eat this? No, you can't. Mama, can I? No, you can't. And then third time, if you're saying, Mama, can't you hear? I've been saying you can't, and you are always bothering me. Then we turn. However, we should be putting the phone down and talking in the first call and making an eye contact. And then you build the connection. Then the child is hearing you faster than you think. Okay? So these are the 3 points. I think if you'll follow that, you can manage tantrums. Children are meant to show tantrums. You need to learn as parents how to manage those tantrums.
So basically,
Okay?
being firm at the first place, and they should have a proper
Firm with consequences, then have a team, and then making an eye contact.
eye contact is very much important. And as we discussed, like being growing up a child in a structured environment, like do they have to play in this kind of structured environment? Like during the 1990s, kids, we grown up in a way that okay, we don't have any kind of boundaries in which we play. But in today's world, people are letting their children to grow up in a very environment, like during before their LKG or UKG, they're just letting their children to grow up in a play school, so in a very structured environment, so they'll be playing in that manner. And also at the same time, they'll be having many rules, like we do not have any rules when we were playing during our kids. I mean, we were in the kids age, but today there are a lot of rules. We should always make our children to play in a structured environment. So can you please explain, is this necessary, or we do not want to set any kind of boundaries when they do play now?
Yeah, another very good question. So, having a structured play is important, but following a routine is also very important. For example, allowing children to play at the time of play, unstructured way is important. But letting children play throughout the day and not doing anything and have no timetable to eat, to sleep, to have snacks, to study, to watch TV is not promoted. How both have their own importance. So, for number one, if you have a routine, then the child will sleep in time, the child will eat in time, the child will do activities in time. But if you're taking your child, like say 4 o'clock is your timetable to play, and at 4 o'clock, you let your child do whatever he wants to do till 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever you have decided. I'm just telling you hypothetically, could be your anytime. But yes, in a day, there should be 1 hour to 2 hours of unstructured play for the child because that helps in creativity, decision making, and facing challenges. When you let children do what they want to do, because you have given them in an open. Let me, for example, I take my child at 4 o'clock to the playground, and then I take my corner and sit, or I go for a walk nearby only, where I'm watching him, keeping an eye, but I do not interfere. Even if he has a fight, and unless it is like, uh, they are not touching each other, or they're not getting into extreme, I watch like how are they handling, because you are also responsible for preparing them for real world. Every time you're not going to be there to solve everything for them. Okay, so you, when everything is over, when you come back home and have observation of the child, then you come back home and appreciate before sleep, you appreciate them for the good that they did. I appreciate that you call that friend. I saw that you call that friend involved, had an inclusive play. You involve them in the play. But beta, we should learn forgiving people if they are not allowing you to play. Do not be angry. Like, you can teach them by observation. So unstructured play with the routine, with the combination of routine, is highly recommended, because that improves your creativity. When children, do unstructured play, they create so many games, and you have never heard about those games. So that boosts their brain to be creative. And then, to those games, they themselves make rules, like you will be out if you're doing that, you will be in if you're not. That helps decision making. And then allowing them to face real time challenges, real life challenges. So that's important, but with the combination of a routine.
Yeah, that's actually a great kind of answers from you, ma'am. So, other
Thank
than
you.
these are the most common things which we needed to address. So, that's a great lot of information we got through you via this interview about kind of calm parenting. So, being a child psychologist. So, we know which city you're based right now, ma'am.
I'm born and brought up in Chandigarh,
Chandigarh,
the
right?
beautiful city. And right now, I am in Bhubaneswar from couple of years, and I have my entire process online. So you can visit me at saarholisticwellness.com with a double L on my Instagram handle, and we also have a YouTube channel wherein on daily basis we are talking about calm parenting. Apart from that, we do give recorded courses for mothers to how to manage calm parenting at a very reasonable cost. And then we have other programs with, if mothers want, they can join a 90 days program, or 30 days program, or 60 days program. Since these some programs are live program and some programs are recorded programs, because we understand mothers are busy and they want to do these programs at their own speed whenever they have time. So I think as a mother, I consider a lot while designing my programs. So I understand that how I can give 200% of value of whatever their time and money and energy they are investing. So that's my only vision, to contribute best towards the mothers, children, and the family as a whole.
So once again, thank you, ma'am, for coming and joining this wonderful interview over here. So people who are watching this interview, please do subscribe to our channel. If you have any kind of doubts regarding calm parenting and child, being a
Yes.
child psychologist, Reena Chopra ma'am is very happy to help you
Yes,
out.
anytime you can drop us a message on our Instagram handle. Our team will definitely get back to you.
I'll just drop Reena Chopra ma'am's Instagram link in the YouTube description. So you please
Thank
have a
you.
look at it. And please click on the bell icon if you want to receive notifications whenever I post new videos regarding new women entrepreneurs across India and across the world. So Reena Chopra ma'am, have a wonderful day. Have a nice day. And any other
Thank
thing if you
you.
wanted to tell me or if you wanted to tell to the world via this interview, you can tell right now, ma'am.
Yes, I really want to address, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank
All I
you.
want to say is that set your priorities right. I am not saying that, oh, leave your work and sit back home and invest in your children only. That should be the only motto. but they have figured out the ways when on daily basis you can connect with your children for 15-20 minutes, because time is ticking every day, and this time childhood will never come back again. So if your child is below 6 years or is a teenager, right now, from today, if you're watching this, and start investing quality time. 10 minutes, I'm sure every parent can take out.
So once again, thank you people for watching this wonderful, kind interview. Signing off, this is your host Krishna over here, and today's our guest is Honorable Reena Chopra, ma'am, a famous child psychologist. People who are very well versed in guiding their children, and also she is good in parenting. So please connect her whenever you do find time. So once again, thank you for everyone watching this video. Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you and namaskar.
Thank you, namaste. Good evening, Reena Chopra, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.